South Korean officials say North Korea fired more short-range ballistic missiles today.
That's right. It is the latest in a series of weapons tests conducted by Pyongyang in recent weeks. Officials say 2 missiles were launched into the sea from North Korea's east coast this morning. The move comes as South Korea holds military drills, something North Korea has condemned and accused the South of raising tensions. Now, the United Nations warns North Korea could carry out a nuclear test at any time. For more, let's bring in CBS News security correspondent David Martin, who joins us from the Pentagon. Hi, David. Thanks for being with us. So what does it mean for North Korea and overall stability in the region if Pyongyang begins nuclear tests?
Well, North Korea has tested before 6 times. They've detonated an underground nuclear device, but the last time was in 2017. So a test now would end a 5-year moratorium. And it would undoubtedly bring a reaction from the U.S., South Korea, and Japan in the form of military exercises and a show of force. And that, of course, perpetuates this cycle in which each side is accusing the other of provocative acts and reacting to them. And whenever you get that cycle going, there's always the danger that it could spiral out of control.
Well, David, is there any insight at all into where North Korea is with respect to its process of developing nuclear weapons?
Well, it has clearly demonstrated the ability to launch missiles that could reach targets as close as South Korea and as far away as the United States. And it has clearly demonstrated the capability to detonate a nuclear device. The question is, have they developed a nuclear warhead that will fit on top of any of those missiles, particularly the new ones they've been developing? And if we get another test here, as everybody expects, that test will probably go a long way toward answering that question.
And David, we do know that Washington has warned Pyongyang in the past that the use of nuclear weapons against the U.S. or its allies will essentially end the regime, end the North Korean regime. But do we have any more details about exactly what moves the U.S. would take?
Well, just yesterday, the Pentagon released its national defense strategy. And one of the lines in there says, there is no scenario in which the Kim regime could employ nuclear weapons and survive. That's about as clear and official as it gets. A nuclear attack on South Korea would, one, be an attack on an American ally, would be an attack on 28,000 American troops who are stationed there, not to mention all the American diplomats and American citizens. So the U.S. would respond. It has overwhelming military advantage over North Korea. So an attack would be suicidal for Kim Jong-un, because the first thing the U.S. would do would be to go after all the leadership targets it has been able to identify in North Korea. Now, Kim undoubtedly has a deeply buried bunker he can hide in, but he very quickly would lose control of his ability to rule his country.
All right, David Martin at the Pentagon for us. David, thank you.
Thanks, David.
Sure thing.